Here we are on day 2 of this turd. And day 1, yesterday, I don't remember. I kind of had to take the day off yesterday. I played with this a little bit. So actually that would make this day 3, but neither here nor there. So I did a compression test. And the first setup, dry. So basically I just pulled the plugs, opened the throttle bodies, put my tester in, cranked it over. These are the numbers I got. And I poured some 2-stroke oil down inside each cylinder, let them sit, and they came up about 100 psi per cylinders. And I would crank it over and I would get a flame or two out of the exhaust header down there, but it would never light up and kick. So I'm thinking possibly the cams are out of time. I mean, I've got spark. I've got fuel because I was dumping fuel in. We got air. Somewhat got compression in again, which I'm going to test that here in a few minutes. When I've got the throttle bodies out. Working, since I got the wiring harness out here, I'll just see if I can't go ahead and patch this wire and fish it back through the harness since it's all out now. Found some more wonderful butt connectors. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. And if we look here, here's the wire that went to that butt connector. So I don't even know where. Okay, so I have somewhat of an indication. I wonder if it was that pin right there. Either way, I can get that solved. That's not a big deal. More electrical tape. I'm going to have to unwrap all of this to find out what's in here. Where is... I found another plug that was disastrously repaired. But now that the harness is hanging, I don't remember where it was at. I think it was this plug here, wherever the hell that side's at. Anyway, those are all just wire repairs. But the thing that got my goat the most, okay, what pissed me off, and I was taking the carbs out, I noticed that we're missing the carb screw here for the boot. And these are actually either the boots are on wrong or the clamps are on wrong, because these should be flipped to where you can access these 2 screws from this side and these 2 screws from this side. But the way it's now is I got to get a long ass Allen wrench in here to get to these 2, and then a long one to come in here to get to these 2. So those are on wrong and these are on wrong. Let's see. The thing that got my goat the most, though, was as I was taking this apart. Now, I already loosened these up with a wrench, but this is exactly how they were orientated. Who in the fuck does that shit? You do shit like that, we can't be friends. I don't care how you want to say it. That is BS. You have to get a wrench on there. What would have been so hard about either doing that, or if you didn't want to take the radiator off, angle them so you can get a screwdriver in there from the intake side. But no, let's go and fuck the next guy by doing that shit. I hope this guy gets crabs and gets violently attacked by a pack of rabid groundhogs. Because that dude, whoever did that's an asshole. So anyway, this is where I'm at now. I'm working on getting the valve cover off. I got to get these off so I can get the coolant side taken off and get these metal tubes out of the head. I'll go ahead and pull the... Actually, I'm going to pull the spark plugs out now. Put my tester in there. Take another reading. See where we're at on that. Lots of overspray, mud dauber's nests, poverty chrome. Yeah. That's where we're at now. And I get to deal with all of that. Which it might probably be worth putting another harness in this thing, to be completely honest. because these things are all mangled up. The tank, the fuel pump connectors. Let's see. That bottom one we're supposed to have a push clip is broken, so we're going to need a new fuel pump assembly. So that's always fun, dripping fuel in the shop. But that's where we're at on this thing now. See you. I'm set up to do a compression test. Got my cheap ass Harbor Freight tester here. I'm in cylinder number 2. Key is on. No need to hold throttle wide open. We got full bores here. Let's see what happens. Let's go ahead and call that 60. And on my first test, cylinder 2 was 70. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, a little bit of 2-cycle oil. Pour it right in here. Just like that. And we're going to look down inside the port and make sure the valve's open. Alright, there goes the oil into the port. Just give it a couple seconds to flow in. Let's go ahead and erase our setting. And let's see what we get now that we got some oil on those rings. Alright, so we're going to call that 115. Now, let's do it again. Call that 95. There's 90. Just under 90. I think we can see the trend here as it just slowly starts dropping. So I think if we can get it to light up, then those rings might reseal. But I'm gonna go ahead and finish taking out this valve cover so I can see where the valves are. I don't think it's an overlap in the valves if something's off time, because when I put the oil in, it jumps way up. I mean, it could possibly be some part of that, but won't know until I get in it. Fun stuff. My hopes were dashed. So here we've got the line lined up with the split in the case. Cylinder 1's at top dead center of the compression stroke. And there's the intake cam dot lined up with the arrow, and the exhaust cam dot lined up with the arrow. So my hopes of it being cam being a tooth off or something, no go. I've also come to realize that this thing's got almost 80,000 miles on the clock. Which means this thing may need to be overhauled. With the terrible compression. Yep. Yep.